the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. Megan, Rudo, AJ, Jesse.
I'm out of here.
Goodbye. Don't need perfect. Excellent. Jesse, the third member of the podcast today. You just hold it there. Just hold it. You can't. You got to flip it upside down for when we talk about Mikko, at least, though.
Nope, I'm insulted.
Avs dominate the San Jose Sharks. I guess it was a close game for the first period, but was it really? I mean, the Avs did what they had to do. They beat them 6-2 tonight. Downvote over here said he volunteered for the 60-second rundown.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that.
Downvote.
Hold on.
He's got to pull up the...
I just got to make...
Yeah, you got to pull up...
Yeah, I got to make sure I'm doing it in
when
correct
there's 8
order.
goals,
right.
you're like, okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Slow start, honestly, disappointing start for me. I was expecting the Avs to come out with a little bit more jump. Game was way too back and forth for the first 20. In the later stages, Erik Karlsson gets a goal because he's the only player for the San Jose Sharks. Mikko Rantanen, just a few minutes later, does get his 50th goal on a nice rebound off a Nathan MacKinnon shot. Then really just the floodgates opened in the second period, both for Mikko Rantanen and the Avs. He would score the next one. Then Nathan MacKinnon adds on top of that. Mikko Rantanen completes a hat trick, putting him at 52 goals on the season. Great backdoor play. Nice finish on a Nathan MacKinnon feed. And then it was Ben Meyers getting in on it, answering a goal, power play goal for the San Jose Sharks of a beautiful Erik Karlsson feed. Ben Meyers then gets 2 in a row, and when that's happening, you know it's party time in the Bay Area. 6-2. 3 seconds to spare.
Sometimes it's that easy.
That's for me.
There you go. The upvote
This is how
back.
I feel about the rest of the show right now. For being misnamed.
There you go. Megan with the upvote at very least. Give us a little bit of credit. Let's start chronologically. We're going to spiral out of control as the show goes on, so let's at least start there. Really low event first period. Really... And look, Colorado got where they were going in this game. They did what they needed to do. Did you want more killer instinct in the first period?
You know, yes, especially leading up to Mikko Rantanen goal.
Sure.
Because after that, I do think things changed for the Avs. I do think of the 3 periods, it was their worst. But
I agree.
After the Mikko Rantanen goal, a lot of life was injected back into them, and I was really happy with the rest and how it played out. So hard to really criticize them because it's maybe 15 minutes of this game that aren't their best.
And, you know, it's 15 minutes that aren't their best and aren't a disaster, right?
No, really, you're right. It wasn't disastrous either.
It just didn't feel great when you're talking about, you know, the expectation is the Avs should dominate this team. The game finished 6-2. And that first period, certainly the first half of it, just felt like the Avs were going through the motions a little bit.
Yeah. It felt like they, as a team, collectively needed Mikko to get 50 so that they could start playing. I'm not saying they were, like, forcing it in those first 15 minutes, and that was what it was, but, like, it really did. Like Megan said, they scored that. Mikko got that goal, and it really just felt like, whew.
Okay.
Now let's just
Let's
play
go
and
play hockey.
win this fucking game, yeah.
Certainly
Sorry,
felt
I'm
that way
swearing a lot.
for Mikko. Yeah, you are.
I don't know why.
You're about it tonight.
Because you called me AJ.
Okay. I mean, excuses. Even Megan giving that one the downvote. There you go. This first goal against... I don't want to be super negative tonight. The Avs dominated. They won the game. It was easy. I'm not going to get too much into it. The one takeaway that I have that's negative from this game... Can you keep Dennis Malgin in your top 6? Not just the goal where it felt like he was a little bit lazy, reaching for a rebound puck that he ends up getting beat to. Just don't think he had a great night overall. Do the Avs have the horses right now with the injuries to fiddle with that top 6, or is it just Dennis Malgin there right now?
You're getting Lehkonen back. That's what it is.
For the playoffs, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, and really... I mean, you're what, 10 days removed from him like having a really good week, and then he's on a downtrend. I think I think he's somewhere in the middle as like who he actually is. But I mean, I think he'll be come playoff time. He's a fourth line guy. If you get a couple injuries deep or something like that, I think he's being overextended right now because of the injuries. Not a good night for him. I'm probably inclined to bump him down, put someone else in. Alex Newhook, he hasn't finished shit, but he has had look after look after look for 2 weeks now. If you're looking to mix that up at all, that's what I'd do. I'd swap those two. I know they don't play the same position. You have center issues and stuff like that, but I just don't think it's that big of a deal right now because you know you're getting at least one guy back who slots in there. So I just think it's like, see if you can get a little bit more magic out of Malgin, and
then
if not,
cut your losses in the playoffs.
Right. Who gives a shoot?
It's interesting because when Malgin is on, 100% is fully capable of playing that role. There's no doubt about that. Just don't know that I believe in the consistency there for him to continue doing that.
That's why he is who he is. That's why he got traded for Dryden Hunt, with all due respect to Dryden.
Well, and he played above expectation given what the exchange was for.
Yep.
He had a more significant impact. Obviously, he's even able to play in the top six than Dryden Hunt ever did as a fourth-line player. I think everyone's really happy with that.
Yeah.
But you're right. It comes a time where he wasn't brought here to play in the top six, and it shows in nights like tonight because of the point they're at in the season 2 and because they had such a strong game tonight. Other time in the season, I would think it would be too reactive to say move Malgin based on just this game alone. But because of how good of a night Newhook had and the jolt that he provided, I actually could see him being elevated. And it's not really to demote Malgin so much as it is to reward Newhook. And because they have a little bit of room to tinker this time of year until Arturi Lehkonen gets the green light. And honestly, even when he does, it's something to consider because in the same way that Bednar wanted to jumpstart Nichushkin, I'm sure he wants to jumpstart Newhook, who is on the doorstep of scoring opportunities. And it really isn't to punish Malgin. It's just to honestly bring Malgin back to the role he was brought here for.
Yeah, but I was going to say, it's not... I think at least for me, what I like about a guy like Malgin is he's someone that 1 out of every, 20 games, he'll be feeling it. And you can plug him into some more advantageous
Ride the
spots.
hot hand.
Right.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like this, he knows this too. Like, you're a fourth line guy. You're a tweener. He knows it. The Avs know it. They were trying to ride that hot hand, and it's cooled just a little too much. He now looks a little bit out of place. Shit, give Ben Meyers a look, against Anaheim. Like, he had a great night tonight.
So here's the difference for me, specifically with Malgin and Newhook. On a night like tonight, you're watching plays die on Malgin's stick. And sure, I think there's a very real case for Newhook not having that finishing ability over a good stretch of the season, but those opportunities are still being created with Newhook, even if he's not finishing them. On a night like tonight, the opportunity never got there because Malgin turned the puck over. He lost the puck. He had a poor defensive shift where he misses a rebound. You name it. And as you both have alluded to, it's not ship Malgin off to the moon, we're done with him. It's no, you move to the hot hand on any given night when you're rotating those players around.
Yeah. And he's got the ability to, like, that again, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, and I mentioned that with Dryden Hunt. Literally, just picture him as Dryden Hunt, but he's got a little bit better finishing touch. And that's honestly all you're looking for out of it.
Physicality, I think there's a little bit more difference than that.
Sure, but I guess my thing is, what you're looking for out of Malgin is if you get into a super tight playoff game and it's coming down to depth, he's someone that can
change a game.
I used the Yoel Kiviranta comparison a couple days ago. That's all you're looking for out of him. He's good enough that on the right night where he gets kind of lost in everything, that dude could put in 2 big goals for you, as where you never felt like something like that with Dryden Hunt.
Yeah, agree.
But you shouldn't have any expectations for Dennis Malgin beyond that.
Yep. Let him be effective in a depth role. That's where it's ultimately at. And the reality that you alluded to earlier, Jesse. He's in the playoffs with a healthy Lehkonen. He's just a depth guy. It's just
At
the
best,
reality.
if not a scratch.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. That's a conversation for a different day. Two things here. One, if you haven't noticed, in the bottom corner, we got a new shirt. Mikko with the 50 goals. Moose for 50. Look, things like this don't happen very often. Exemplified by the fact that this is the first time the Avs have had a 50-goal scorer in 20 years. It's been 20 years since the last person to do this. To the day. Milan Hejduk, 20 years ago, did it. Mikko taking those reins. And who knows, like, very much so, Joe Sakic's 54-goal record for the Avs is on the table here. So get yourself a sick shirt. Remember it for what it is. Because these things just don't happen very often. Like, let's be honest about it. Yes, there have been a handful of 50-goal scorers in the NHL over the last couple of years. But it's literally that, a handful. It's like a big boom year, and there are 5 dudes.
Yeah, right.
5 of how many? There's like 700 NHLers on any given day.
That seems pretty high. No, it doesn't.
What's 23 times 32? I'm not doing that math, dude.
It's 600 something.
So I'm not that far off.
No. I had to think through it, but yeah.
We're in the ballpark on that one. 2, we got some Dr. Dub shots to do. Thank you for getting us to 100 likes, chat. Very appreciated. Let's get these for Mikko. For 50.
For Mikko.
For whatever you want to call it. Cheers to Tiff as well.
Cam, I love that.
Yeah, she gets it in there.
You guys are lunatics.
Jess doesn't want to participate. So
See?
What?
All 3 of you guys.
Did it? No, I did not at all. Run it.
Yeah.
Replay.
She doesn't want to run that back.
She might.
She doesn't. No, yeah, I was gonna say. I saw
I was
it.
not.
Let's just move on.
Moving on.
Let's just move on. You guys can wipe the tears out of your eyes later.
It's funny because
Jesus. I love these.
More,
guys are
please.
crazy.
I think every Avalanche fan felt a little bit of weight off their shoulders when Mikko got 50. Mikko looked like a 2-ton brick just fell off of his shoulders when that puck went into the net. And I told this to you, Jesse, when you tweeted the picture about it. The face, Mikko's face, more than anything looked like relief.
Yeah.
And the dudes around him, Nathan MacKinnon loses his mind.
I was gonna say, Nate went nuts.
He was as happy for his 100th point as he was for Mikko's 50th.
Everyone else on the ice was happier than Mikko Rantanen about him getting his 50th goal of the season.
Jesse doesn't like what?
Is this...
all right.
Seeing reactions like that, how much of this is
Jesse
just the
doesn't do
normal
shots.
hockey team, everybody's happy for each other, and how much of this is the Colorado Avalanche being built different?
They're not normal.
They're not?
They love each other so much.
I think this is a very tight-knit group. I mean, the majority of this roster is not quite 1 year removed from winning a Stanley Cup together. And again, we talked about it in the pregame. As much as it was downplayed, 50 goals, it means something to NHLers. Again, 20 years since the last Av did it.
Yep.
30 years since the last Finn did it. Like, that's a significant milestone. And as even if Mikko did want to downplay it, like, his teammates are aware. They're all competitors. They wanted to see him get that. I think it's, and again, that is one of those ones that even if you don't care, once you hit it, that has to be a moment of like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that I did that.
It has to have. Look at the way this game played out. And you have to go, okay, so that was weighing on Mikko a little bit.
I genuinely, dude, I think it was weighing on Mikko and the entire team. Just look at the way the game went.
Yep.
The way that game played out would suggest everybody had that on their mind.
There's something momentous about doing this in a hat trick fashion too. Obviously, getting that first goal brings him to the milestone, but then to have a hat trick night, I think is a testament to how much this meant to him, how much he was feeling it. It translated into his game. And you look at the storyline of this season and how much they've all had to overcome for him to even reach this milestone in such a difficult season, taking on as much responsibility as he has. And I think he looks to everyone around him. Staying healthy, huge part of it. He looks to everyone around him, too, that has helped to get him here. I think he feels immense pride.
It feels in a same, but different way, kind of like the Kadri...
Ooh, way different.
Well, hold on. I'm with you. But in the way that she said momentous, where like in that Kadri game, he got the first one, and then it was like 2 shifts later, he almost had a second one. And you just kind of got that feeling where it was like, ooh, what do you mean? What, you're downvoting it feeling like Nazem Kadri was going to get 2 more after he got the first one? You're saying, you don't like that.
I'm saying Kadri's was
you
way better.
You heard it here first.
Kadri's was way better.
Rudo hates Nazem Kadri and hated the hat trick in Game 4. You heard it here first. He just downvoted the Nazem Kadri Game 4 hat trick.
That downvote was for Mikko.
You can replay it if you want.
That downvote was for comparing that to Mikko.
So now you're downvoting Mikko's hat trick.
Compared to that Kadri hat trick?
Rudo doesn't like the Nazem Kadri hat trick or the Mikko Rantanen hat trick.
Downvoting that hat
Let it officially be on record. Mikko Rantanen. I don't even know who you are anymore. Rudo hates the Avs.
AJ,
You heard it here first.
I called you AJ. You don't know who I am. It's fair.
As I was saying, like 2 shifts later, Nazem Kadri almost got another one, and you just felt it. You felt it coming.
You did.
You knew right then. You're like, yeah, this dude's getting 3. In the same way that tonight, like you said, Mikko, that the weight came off, and then it was like, oh, and he's buzzing? Oh, shit. He got the second one, and you knew the third one was coming. Yeah. You just knew. That was what I meant before you started yelling at me.
You're still wrong, but it's okay.
What do you mean I'm still wrong? You agreed with everything I just said and then said I was wrong.
I agree with some of the concepts. Some of the concepts are fair.
Which is all I was saying.
But putting those 2 hat tricks in the same stratosphere, absolutely not.
Did you listen to what I said?
Yeah, I did.
You nodded along, agreed the whole time. I was like, yeah, but you're way wrong.
I agree that there was a vibe. I don't agree that comparing Nazem Kadri's
Put
performance...
that on the lower third. I agree there was a vibe, and let's move on.
Okay.
Do we have to do ad reads? I feel like we've been talking for like 45 minutes.
We do, but I do want to touch on the second goal very quickly because the second goal was vintage Mikko, and we'll get into Erod's role in that. But you see the difference of a guy who over the last 2 games have been shooting pucks right into a goalie's chest.
Who's this?
Mikko.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets 50, and 51 is him. Yep, I'm going to turn it to the backhand and go bar down just because I can.
That was honestly his real 50th goal because of the empty netter. He said, nah, I'm going to make my real 50th goal better.
Were you there? I can't remember when we were talking about it. It was either after morning skate or after a game. Someone made mention he has to at least get 51 because there was a goal that he was credited with early in the season, but he didn't actually shoot the puck in the net. It was an empty netter, and he got like tripped, I think.
Yeah, not an actual goal.
So he was awarded a goal, which he should have been. He would have scored had he not been hauled down. But the puck never actually entered the net. So there we go. Now he has more than 50 that actually went in.
Okay.
Unless you disagree with it. Unless you want to downvote that too.
No, I agree with that one. Jesse's right on this one.
AJ's right on this one.
What did he... Hey, can you flip that sign upside down for me?
Doesn't stick in here.
He's going to permanently downvote it.
Can you flip that the other way? Perfect. So... You.
What? Oh.
You with Roman.
I knew
oh,
that was
no.
as soon as you did that, I knew where that was going.
Look, if you're trying to score 50 times, make sure you're ready. Roman ready. That's all I'm getting at right now. If you need help going this direction in the bedroom, Roman's got you covered. They've got you covered for far more than that as well. Really, what they're after is just making sure you as a male are taking care of your sexual health. They can give you a free consultation. They will dive into anything that you need, whether it's ED, whether you have low T, whether you just need to get something checked out. Because, look, fellas, I know it's awkward sometimes, but sometimes you got to get your balls checked. It's just the reality of the situation.
Amen.
Look, it's just a fact. All right? No need to hide it. You're just trying to be healthy. That's all there is to it. Whatever it is for you, Roman has you covered. You can go to ro.co/DNVR today to get your free consultation from licensed professionals. Yes, that means doctors who will see you. They will deal with whatever problems you have. They can ship you whatever products you need in a discreet package. Again, if you have ED, they'll take care of you. If you want wipes that make you last twice as longer in bed, they'll take care of you. If you have low T, they'll take care of you. All the way across the. If you're trying to get a hat trick like Mikko, all right, you might need a little bit of help. That's all I'm saying. Look it. That's the action. It's the action you need going on in the bedroom. That's where Roman comes. Oh, come on. Look, that one works too. All right, power top.
Oh my God!
Power
keep going.
bottom.
Just keep just keep doing what you're doing.
Go check them out. Go to ro.co.com/ or no, it's just ro.co/DNVR. Yeah, that face is about accurate. Check them out. Again, Roman, they're super discreet. They just want to make sure you're healthy. So go check them out today. Also brought to you by Illegal Pete's. You know what? Having sex takes a lot of calories. So make sure you get your Illegal Pete's burritos. Make sure you're ready to go. All right.
I guess that's a segue.
I guess.
The burritos are delicious, though. Truly, they're actually tasty. Highly recommend you get them because they're actually good. Go check them out for the fresh ingredients. Go check them out for their happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. Delicious margaritas. Everyone who actually drinks those recommends them to me, and I say, tequila's gross. I'll get their vodka instead. But happy hours are fantastic. There's one just a couple blocks from the DNVR bar. You can pregame over there. You got 10 different locations in Colorado, so they're all over the state. They're just good burritos, genuinely. If you haven't been, go get one. Go try one. You'll see what I mean. They're tasty. Go check out Illegal Pete's today. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Nathan MacKinnon now leads the NHL in even strength points.
It quietly just throws up 4 points. Not bad.
Bro, I mean, we seriously might be staring down Nathan MacKinnon finishing second in the Hart voting for the third time.
He deserves it.
Seriously.
And like this one, it's at least like, yeah, there's no way he should win it.
Right.
But how many times have we gone on this podcast and been like, no, Nathan MacKinnon's the second best player in the world?
Yeah.
Feels like it right now, man.
I mean, yeah, and he's since January, he's just on another level.
He's
the only NHL player above a point per game at even strength. He's got 73 even strength points. Connor McDavid has 72.
Silliness.
Keep in mind, Connor McDavid, I believe, now has 150 points. I didn't see. Did they play tonight?
I don't know if they played tonight.
There's 14 games. I don't know if they played tonight. At worst, he's still at 148.
Only 148.
Unreal.
What a bum.
Yeah.
But genuinely, cannot be understated Nathan MacKinnon's impact, and we'll get to Mikko in a second. I don't want people to undervalue Nathan MacKinnon, and I said this in my review the other night. It is such a privilege that Avalanche fans get to watch that dude every single night.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely. Probably, maybe Cale Makar usurps him, but good chance Nathan MacKinnon is the best player I ever get to cover in my life.
I think it's Cale.
And that is a fair argument.
Yes.
And that just makes covering the Avs even more stupid, right?
I tell the story all the time, dude. I genuinely, when I was in high school and shit like that, I used to be so envious of Pittsburgh and Washington fans because they got to watch all-time generational players, all-time greats play every single night. And to your point, you have an actual argument that you can make that we are getting to watch three players that are at least in that caliber. Maybe they're not quite in prime Crosby or Ovechkin tier.
3 players in the top 10 in the world on this team.
Right, and they all play for this team. I've made the argument before. I think currently, right now, today, on April 6th, 2023, I think Cale Makar is the best all-around player in the world. That's an argument for a different day. Point being, it's such a privilege to be able to watch these dudes every single day, every single night. It's very special, and it's part of the reason why I made the joke when this game ended. I said, thank God, because I'm ready for the playoffs. But like it's just one of those things where they're so good, they've actually made it like mundane to watch on some nights because they're so dominant.
There is no other team in the league where a player can go, oh yeah, he had a 4-point night tonight. Cool.
Right.
That's cool.
Well, and we just talked about Mikko the other day. You can watch a full 60-minute game, be like, God, Mikko is terrible. Goes for 1 goal and 3 points. You're like, okay, never mind. I guess not. It's a really fun group that they've got to watch right now, man.
Megan, first of all, MacKinnon or Makar?
It's Makar.
Okay.
But the fact that you even choose between those two is a privilege. That there's even a Rantanen in that conversation alongside it is also a privilege.
Get out of town.
Well, there's been several. I mean, really, and obviously it's easy to say this because Connor McDavid got eliminated. But like in June of last year, I really do think that what we saw to Nathan MacKinnon in the Stanley Cup final, Cale Makar in the Stanley Cup final, that was better hockey than Connor McDavid's ever played. You know what I mean? Like. They both have the ability on any given night to be in that conversation. Again, Connor McDavid's had an all-time unbelievable season. He will be. Do you think unanimous? Hart? Do you think anybody has anyone other than Connor McDavid at 1?
They're wrong if they do.
Yeah,
they're just wrong.
See, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to. But like, how do you not? How do you not?
If Cale Makar was healthy and played a full 82 games, maybe.
Right.
Maybe. But that didn't happen. And there's no one in the strat. Like Nathan MacKinnon is playing out of his mind. Better than most players in the NHL have ever played. And he's still not that close to McDavid.
I was going to say, his second half has been right there.
If he played the full season.
He's been right there with McDavid. But what's insane is that McDavid's first half was also at like this level. It's ridiculous. But I don't even remember where we were fully going with that. But like it's
well, I'll tell you where we're going. As cool as Nathan MacKinnon was, our honorary king of the game is shout out to the dude in San Jose wearing DNVR merch in the front row. Celebrating with Mikko Rantanen.
He got a lot of screen time.
He did.
Yeah. Good seats. Those quality seat selection.
Good celebration from him too. The energy was there.
Yeah.
He
understood and he didn't fall off. That was what I liked about it. Sometimes you'll see them jump up and then it's just like, kind of half-assed, one hand glass tapping.
No, this is Mikko getting 50.
Yeah, he stayed hyped. He knew he understood the moment. He understood he was right there in front of history. Good for that guy.
And but I asked this on Twitter, but how do you say "oh boy" in Finnish?
Someone replied, I couldn't tell you how to pronounce it.
Finnish is one of the craziest languages I've ever seen in my life. We got off the plane and I was like, yep, I know nothing.
Actually, this is a weird fact that I know.
Perfect.
Finnish is unlike any other language in the world. The closest relative to Finnish is actually Japanese when it comes to language.
It was just, I couldn't believe how many double letters there were. Because, again, you go to other countries and not always, but a lot of the times you can, even if you don't know anything about the language, you can pick up on like similarities in words and you can make some inferences in terms of what things are. And we were just coming from another country where we did that for 4 days, and it was we got by fine. I seriously got off the plane. We were walking through the airport, and I was like, none of this looks like anything.
It's tough. It's tough out there.
Extremely hard to read.
You just got to get through it on some days.
Yeah.
Most days in Finland. Because that language is nonsense.
We saw this, and again, like the words, and they talk really fast all together. And there was one day we were down by like the central station after the games, And there was this father and his little kid, really cute little kid in this like big snow onesie, just kind of like waddling through the streets of Finland. And he was saying like little bits of words and stuff. He was just learning to talk. And I turned to Hannah and I said, how do you even begin to teach a little kid a language like this? This is crazy. Like, this isn't mom, dad. Like, these are like 15-letter words minimum. It was...
look, I learned the only word you need to know in Finnish. Perkele.
What is that?
It's the only swear word I know in Finnish.
Oh.
Watch your mouth.
I thought you were going to say it's the only swear word. I was like, no way do they only have one swear word.
It's the only one I
in
know.
Finnish. Yeah.
Actually, I could tell you some weird facts about Finnish swearing, but that's not for this show.
I'm sure you could.
Moving on. We're gonna go out of sync here a little bit. We're gonna get back to Mikko. First of all, is it a sign of the apocalypse that Ben Meyers has scored a goal in the NHL?
Nature is healing.
Healing? All right, so this is the it's spring, there's regrowth.
It's because Minnesota won.
Aw, he was charged up.
Didn't Minnesota lose?
No, they won. They beat BU.
Michigan lost.
Michigan lost.
Oh, the Minnesota college team. Okay.
The Gophers. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, why would Ben
Minnesota.
Myers care if Minnesota won
I
or
mean,
lost?
Minnesota
Wild.
people are weird like that.
True. It's Quinnipiac in Minnesota in the final.
Go Quinnipiac.
If there's any sign that would show you just how much the weight was lifted and the floodgates opened by Mikko hitting 50, it was Ben Meyers
Scoring a goal.
potting 2 goals. It was just like, the whole team's feeling it. Good for him. I really do think that he's gotten a much tougher rap this year than he deserves. I think he's played really hard. I think he's done a lot of good things over the course of the season, and he hasn't been rewarded for any of it. And I think this is also his reward for getting that weird, 3-hour call up the other day.
I felt really bad about
That
that.
was a lot of driving.
Because he went and played, got the... I think he got the goal that forced overtime in that game.
Yeah.
On what is just a crazy travel day for him. But I think there's a few things because of what Mikko Rantanen and MacKinnon do in their goal scoring gives him, and I think Jared Bednar, some flexibility to give Ben Meyers a little bit more ice time and make this all possible. So it's a team effort in the end. But I also think that line in general, the efforts of Matt Nieto, Newhook, and Ben Meyers made this possible because they were going and they were working pretty well. So they earned that too. And Ben Meyers, he's been on the brink of scoring opportunities a few times now in his call-ups. And
more than a few.
it's he hasn't scored since October 7th, but he's had 3 points in 5 games with the Eagles in the last 5. And so this is somebody who has been building his confidence at the American League level, which is exactly why he was sent there in the first place.
Yep.
I can't promise that this is going to happen every game. I'm sure it won't, but... I think it was so
the
good.
Avs are winning the Stanley Cup.
And they should get a few more of those little college free agents.
A little Malinsky action.
I'm excited. I just got excited in general. But I'm excited to see this for Ben Meyers, and I think it's probably tremendous for his confidence. Even though the way this realistically shakes out, because people will get healthy and there will be less of a role for him.
Probably a scratch.
He is auditioning for a future in the Avs forward group. And so these moments still matter.
Every time he has a night like this, it's training camp for next year for him. You know what I mean? Because I think you're right. I mean, my guess is once the Avs get healthy, they probably send him back down to try to go on a run with the Eagles. I imagine he's a black ace if the Avs are still going when the Eagles are done. But I really do. I think that's a good call out, Megan, about auditioning for next year. They had him penciled in for a spot on this year's roster, and it just wasn't really there early on. He's definitely looking to make the jump to be a full-time NHLer starting next season, and nights like this help.
So, you've heard of the Princess and the Pea. Is Ben Meyers the Prince and the Puck?
Sure. I don't know where this is going.
No, I love it.
It's not going anywhere.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I was like, whatever you want me to answer, yes.
That one is in a world of its own. Where you do want to go, regardless, is to Fubo TV. All right. I recommend this to everyone. I get it. A lot of you in the chat probably understand how to find an Avalanche game right now. But a lot of you probably have parents or people that aren't willing to do the jumping through hoops to find an Avalanche game that a lot of us do. And Fubo TV is your answer to that. If you go to FuboTV.com/DNVR today, you got the QR code right there on screen for you. You can sign up and you can get altitude. You can actually just watch the Avalanche. You just go to Fubo, you turn them on, they're on. There's no blackouts, there's no nonsense. You just get to watch the Colorado Avalanche play hockey. It's the easiest way to go for it. You also have the Frozen 4 going on right now. You can watch that too through Fubo. So you got tons of options. They have over 100 channels for you to watch on top of that. So if you're one of the people like me who love to, I forget Gold Rush, all about it.
What?
The gold mining show in the Yukon on it's not Animal Planet, it's the other one. Discovery.
National Geographic?
Discovery.
Oh, okay.
It's on Discovery. They got television, the stuff that people actually enjoy. It's not hard to get. And this is the selling point that I really think is important about Fubo. Is if you're the type of person that just wants to flip on the TV and watch something, that's what Fubo brings you.
Yeah.
And I get it. Not everyone is that person, but I think everyone should know at least one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to watch David Carl coach World Juniors next year,
There
you
you
need
go.
Fubo.
There you go. Perfect. I mean, he's not going to beat Canada, but it's fine.
Whoa.
Canada at the World Juniors is always
It's a
mixed bag.
dicey show. You're not right.
Their roster is always the one that should win, and they find a way to choke
These
it away
days,
a lot.
it's like Finland is actually the team you're afraid of.
Yeah. Teams are always sick.
It's wild.
Starting
out
with
there.
that
Swedes are
Mikko
still
captain
pretty
year.
good.
Yeah.
The Swedes are always great.
The Swedes are nasty too. It's true. Either way, go to FuboTV.com/DNVR today. Order with the DNVR code, and you get 15% off your first month. So jump on it. Go try it out. See what all the buzz, same difference, is about.
The fuzz.
Also brought to you by Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. You can get it down here at the bar or at your local liquor store, anywhere in the 50 United States. Yes, they're even in Hawaii now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because we used to always have to throw in continental.
I know. No, someone was like, "Yay, I found it in Hawaii." So
Avalanche found it somewhere recently. They were posting like Breckenridge Brewery. I
Sick.
can't believe it.
let's go.
All right.
Canada's just slacking on the job,
Yeah,
I guess.
seriously.
Everywhere else has got it.
Ooh.
Get on it, Canada. Go check them out. You can go to breckbrew.com. Not just beer, but dope merch as well. A lot of people love their hats. It's not quite Trash Panda level. You're wearing it backwards so people can't even see. But Trash Pandas is pretty elite merch, not going to lie. But Breck Brew's got some pretty cool stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Go check them out. Also, not going to spoil anything, but I've heard got some pretty cool stuff coming with them for the playoffs.
Yes,
so
Breck, yes.
should be pretty cool. Stay tuned for that. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Let's not beat around the bush anymore. Mikko Rantanen just put up a hat trick, has not only hit the 50-goal mark, but positioned himself to potentially challenge Joe Sakic's Avalanche record of 54 goals. The easiest king of the game of all time. The assist also casually sitting at 98 points on the season.
Is it? He came in.
He came in at 94, and he had a 4.
He was at 94. Okay.
Yep.
I thought he was maybe at. All right.
So he's at 98.
Correct.
Yeah. No, I mean, we talked about it in the pregame. We kind of joked about him maybe having a game like this once he got to 50.
Yeah.
And really, it did. It felt like a nice reward for him. He's shit. I mean, we were just talking about Nathan MacKinnon maybe being second in Hart voting. There's a real world where you can talk yourself into Mikko Rantanen being the Avs MVP of the season.
Baller when MacKinnon was out.
He was fantastic when MacKinnon was out. With all the injury troubles the Avs have had, he really carried them through a lot of the season, kept them afloat. And I mean, he's produced in a way that no other Av has in 20 years from a goal production standpoint. So as great as Nathan MacKinnon has been, and I genuinely do believe that at this point in the season, MacKinnon could be a Hart runner-up. You cannot downplay the season that Mikko Rantanen has had and what he's done for this team. I hope it doesn't go underappreciated because it's been something special to watch with what we were talking about a minute ago of being lucky to watch certain players on every night. You don't get to see a lot of 50-goal seasons up close. They are rare, even though, like you said, it's scoring is exploding this year, and there's like 5.
Yeah.
2 of them are on the same team. Like, you don't see a lot of these really. Like, you could go your entire hockey watching life and see one of these up close. So, don't undervalue what Mikko's done for the Avs this year. He's been great.
I think beyond just the health of being able to play consistently, I think he had to grow up, and it's not to say that he wasn't matured before, but he had to step into an even bigger leadership role than what was ever asked of him.
Yep.
And I think we saw growing pains in that too, in some of the on-ice disciplinary things where we'd see his emotions boil over a little bit. And I think those are just growing pains because this is a player that is maturing right before our eyes and has been a valuable voice in their leadership group for this reason.
Was he your number 1 vote?
He was.
Yeah, me too.
I actually there were some runner-ups that I really considered because they're wonderful always, but because he's had to be available to media every situation. Like, we're not hitting up Logan O'Connor after every single game, even though he's a delight.
Yeah.
We're hitting up Mikko Rantanen.
So this is something that I don't know if this is well known. I don't know if people can tell from what gets put out there. Megan, I can count. I mean, I can really only think of one time really where he wasn't there after a loss, and it was after a bad loss when it was just Darren Helm left in the room from a few weeks ago. Mikko Rantanen has stood in his stall and answered questions. He did. He took on the Gabe Landeskog role this year. Everyone talks a lot about that, the 48-point season where Gabe Landeskog was the one who hung in his stall and answered every last question no matter what happened that night. And Mikko Rantanen took that on, especially in the first half of the season when there weren't some fun stretches in there. I think about the Chicago game and kind of the stuff that happened right after that. And Mikko Rantanen took it upon himself. He said, I'm the leader in this room right now. I have to be here and be responsible for these. And he was. And he never made excuses. He never tried to duck the media. He never tried to get out of answering a question. He really did assume that role, and that's something that I don't know if people know a lot. But I don't want to say I gained a lot of respect for him because that makes it sound like I didn't have respect for him.
There was already a lot
right,
there,
but it showed the maturity, I think, in his game, where maybe in the past it felt like maybe he was like, oh, that's fun having, happy-go-lucky, I'm just here to have a good time, Mikko Rantanen. Like, that was another reason why I didn't have an issue with him getting after the refs and stuff this year, even though he got a little carried away at times. I made the comment, during that little stretch that how many times have we talked about, like, gosh, you would love to see Mikko Rantanen be a little bit more engaged. He can kind of float through games sometimes. I thought this year, between the responsibility he took on in the locker room and then just the fire that you saw him play with on the ice, it's like, this dude's engaged. Like, yeah, he needs to figure out a better way to channel it, but like, he's into these games and he's trying to carry the Avs across the finish line on any given night. I think this year was a significant step for Mikko Rantanen, which really says something given the level of player he was coming into the season, but he's more physical. He uses that gigantic frame of his better. Like I said, he seems more emotionally engaged every single night, and he was a real leader, or he has been a real leader in the room this year.
It's one of the genuine reasons why I think all of us are so confident in the Avs going into these playoffs, is because you're gushing about a guy who's maybe the third dude on the Colorado Avalanche.
Right. The 50 goal scorer for the Avs is like, oh, and Mikko Rantanen. Oh my God.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's just where it's at for Colorado. It's why it's easy to have so much faith in this hockey team.
Well, and I think it was the Avs All Access or Peak Access or whatever.
360.
Yeah.
They have so many different ones now. Yeah.
When we were in Finland, they were talking to Mikko and MacKinnon, and Arturi was telling this story about how they knew each other, and in Mikko's draft year, leading up to his draft year, he grew over a foot. And Mikko talked about, I had to learn how to play with a new body. I for 17 years, I was skill, I was shooting, I was things like
I was 5'8".
Right, and now suddenly I'm this, huge guy out there, this big body, and he said, I now feel comfortable in my body. And I think that shows, and it honestly kind of makes sense when you think back to the way that he was in some of those games, his first few seasons, where it's like, we'd like jokingly ask the question, like, does this guy know he's 6'5"? And come
the
to find
answer
out,
was no.
No, he didn't know what that meant. He didn't know what to do with all of that. And it looks like he does now. And it's been a really fun year to watch Mikko Rantanen. Right when you think like, cool, he's settling into his prime, he takes this huge step forward. And it's, it all kind of culminates and comes together tonight where he blows past the 50 goal mark and puts himself within shouting distance of the franchise record or organization record. I don't know if it's a franchise record.
It is officially tomorrow. So let's get to these.
Did you have something to say? I looked like I kept going there and cut you off like 4 separate times.
No.
Okay.
Hit the super chats.
Hit the super chat.
$5 from Oro, who says, so does this season lock up the fact that no one will ever wear 96 again? I think it was already locked, man.
Yeah.
Assuming a relatively healthy rest of his career, no one's going to wear 29 again. No one's going to wear 96 again. No one's going to wear 8 again. Depending on how things play out, no one's going to wear 92 again.
Yeah. That's an interesting one because I wonder if he'll get the captain's C on his banner like Joe did.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense, right?
Yep. If he gets it, I think he does.
Basically, all but 1 year of his career will have been spent as the Avs captain.
As captain, yeah. Thank you for the 5, Oro. Oh, my goodness. Insane. Drew, you're ridiculous. $52. Mikko up to 3rd in goals and 9th in points with 98. Mac tied for 5th in points and tied for 1st in even strength points with EK. 12 fewer games played. Not bad for not having a full healthy roster to play with all year.
Yep.
It's again, it's the Avs ace in the hole, right? Like, you feel so confident because you look at the entire league and you're like, ain't nobody got this.
I mean, think about just some of the line, like Mikko just scored 50. I'm just thinking about some of the line combinations he had at different points this season.
Mikko Rantanen playing next to like genuinely Alex Galchenyuk.
Right.
And I
would love to go back to like December 20th and just see what the lineup was. I mean, it'd be pretty fucking easy.
Mikko Rantanen playing center
12 of 8
between Jean-Luc Foudy.
Seriously, this is a real thing that happened.
Not even like kidding.
I was just talking about this with a guy in the locker room the other day. They were like, yo, we were watching film from earlier in the season. And he goes, no disrespect to those guys, but I cannot believe some of the combinations we had.
I can imagine Jared Bednar in the room like, all right, look at this mistake. This is how he fixed that. And they're like,
duh, obviously
Coach,
it happened. Yeah.
That's Charles Houdon.
Yeah. Dude, crazy.
Thank you very much, Drew. That's incredibly generous. And then he gave us more money. We'll get to in a second. The $1.99, $2 from the Schick, who says, Moose do hockey good.
Sure does.
Yes,
That's
puck
moose
go
fact.
net. Moose fact. I love Unga Bunga.
Jeez.
$11 more from Drew, who says, to Jesse's point earlier about MVP, since Jan 1, McDavid 30, 46, 76, only 38 points at even strength. MacKinnon 29, 41, 70, but 53 of it at even strength.
That's pretty wild.
1 and 2 in points in 2nd and 4th in goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts. It's a nice stat dig out right there.
I think because Connor McDavid exists, and this isn't Colorado, but I think national media does sleep on Nathan MacKinnon a little bit.
I do also, and this goes back to the East Coast bias thing and like not getting, but genuinely, dude, Mikko Rantanen hit 50 at 10 Eastern.
Yeah.
Like 11,
Those dudes
15
are asleep.
Eastern. Right. Like it is just genuinely unfortunate. I will go to my grave arguing that that's why Nate lost the MVP to Taylor Hall.
Yep.
It's like half of the shit that he did, people on the East Coast just, they weren't awake for, which like, why would they be? This game, it's 2 a.m. on the East Coast right now.
Yep.
They didn't watch the end of this game.
Why would you?
Right.
And then $2 from Ryan, who says local moose in great mood today. No doubt about it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mikko was carrying some Trulies after tonight's game, probably. I look, we didn't talk a ton about the minutia of the game tonight, and that's because the Avalanche, after the first period, dominated this hockey game. They went out, they treated the Sharks like a bad team, and they were better, and the game just ended that way. So I don't.
Who
think,
needs minutia for the last 5 games?
There's
right?
just. I mean, I think there is minutia to talk about, just not really in this one. Mikko is dope. MacKinnon is dope. Ben Meyers is dope.
Sure.
Let's get the hell out of here.
That's how you know. That's how you know it's a good night.
Late super chat
At the buzzer.
$10 from Lake King Ball. I don't know. Diehard Bruins fan here. The Bruins basically have to win the cup this year. Hopefully, no choke job like 2019. But the Avs is the only team that's scaring me. Look,
I would agree with that.
Historically, teams like the Bruins don't make it to the Cup final. I don't want to harsh your jive.
On paper, though,
On
they're
paper,
right.
they are the team, 100%.
That comment on paper is correct. It should objectively, like it should be Colorado Boston.
Yep.
It should be Colorado Boston. We'll see if that's what it ends up, but it should be.
It should be.
Conflict.
Final thoughts.
I know we said we weren't going to talk about minutia. I wanted to talk about Mikko's 51st goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the role everybody played in it. And then that will be all from me.
Now go off.
It was because Sharks win possession on this draw, but it's the hard work of MacKinnon and Evan Rodriguez applying pressure that forced this turnover. Rodriguez's pass then is so deceptive, it allows Mikko Rantanen, because he leaves it there and fakes that he's about to shoot from the top of the crease and instead leaves it there for Mikko Rantanen to backhand in. And I just thought this was a fabulous way for him to cap off his true 50th goal.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not enough credit given to Evan Rodriguez.
Everyone on that play. But yes, Evan Rodriguez especially, I really liked that.
Kakin dude, he bites hard. I've rewatched that overtime winner like 50 times because I can't believe Nate Sell's like, oh, I might throw it back the other way. Oh, just kidding. I'll throw it in this 40% of the net that's wide open. All right, it's like 12-15.
He bites. He's a shark.
It doesn't
we
get
have
better
to
than
end
that.
it.
End the show.
Goodbye.
End the show. Get us out of here.